You guys are about to listen to some madness. You're about to witness John Lennox absolutely crush and destroy Richard Dawkins in this debate, if you want to say, or this interview, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, but it's good for as a Christian to witness such things because it just re-strengthens, it regroups your energy. You're like, oh, okay, thank God I believe in the God of the Bible. Without further ado, let's get it.
By definition, as an atheist, you must reject that. There's no mind behind this language.
I do reject it. When you say the only thing we know that can produce language is mind, I mean, we know that what produces human language is mind. Of course we do, because that's human language. But DNA is not human language.
Yeah, but
DNA
it's very sophisticated.
It's very sophisticated, but it doesn't follow that it has to be generated by mind.
But we know of no other conceivable way of it being generated. Mm-hmm. You see, because it seems to me from the mathematical point of view, I think you said this somewhere in a different context, junk in, junk out. Here we have this phenomenally sophisticated information processor, which is the cell. Am I really to believe that that information processing capacity simply came about by the laws of nature and random processes without a mind?
Yes.
Well, absolutely. I find that impossible to believe as a mathematician.
I know you do. This is called the argument from personal incredulity.
But I could just reverse that and says your position is the argument from personal credulity. No, that rationality comes from irrationality, that mind comes from matter. To me, the biblical explanation in the beginning was the word, the logos. That makes perfect sense. And it makes sense of the fact that we can do science itself.
But you haven't explained where the logos came from in the first place.
Well, of course not, because the logos didn't come from anywhere.
Well then, in what sense is it an explanation?
Because the notion that you say you have to ask who created the logos, that says that you're thinking of a created God. The whole point about the God revealed in the Bible is that he was not created. He is eternal. He is the eternal logos. And I ask myself, as an inference to the best explanation, which makes more sense? That there's an eternal logos and that the universe, its laws, the capacity for mathematical description and so on, that these things are derivative, including the human mind, from the logos. That makes very much more sense to me as a scientist than it's the other way round, when there is no explanation for the existence of the universe. Do you just believe the universe is a brute fact?
The universe is an easier brute fact to accept than a conscious creator.
Well, who made it?
It's you who insists on asking that question.
No, you asked me who made the creator. The universe created you, Richard. Who made it then?
A God is a complicated entity which requires a much more sophisticated and difficult explanation than a universe, which is, according to modern physics, a very simple entity. It's a very simple beginning. It's not a negligible beginning, but it's a very simple beginning. That has got to be easier to explain than something as complicated as a God.
Yeah, you can't explain the existence of God, but I think you may have missed my question. I'm drawing a parallel. You see, you say that it's, at least, don't let me put words in your mouth, of course, because that would be unfair, but I'm getting the message that it's ridiculous for me to believe in a God who created the universe and me, because I have to ask who created God. All I'm doing is turning that question round and saying, the universe, you admit, created you because there's nothing else. Well, then who created it?
I understand you perfectly. I'm making that we both of us are faced with the problem of saying, how did things start?
Yes.
I'm saying it's a hell of a lot easier to start with something simple than to start with something complex. That's what complex means.
But I don't think so. If I pick up a book called The God Delusion, it's a pretty sophisticated book. It's got lots of words in it. But actually, as I look at page 1, I don't even need to go beyond page 1, I conclude that it comes from something more complex than that book itself, namely you.
Yes, I mean, obviously complex things exist and brains exist.
Well,
and
why can I not look at the universe, the whole show, which includes Dawkins and Lennox?
I'll tell you why. Because my brain that produced a book has an explanation in its own right. That explanation is evolution. We go back and back and back to the origin of the universe. That provides an explanation for complex brains, and complex brains produce books and museums and cars and computers. Of course we have complex things that produce other complex things. But science has an explanation for where complex brains come from in terms of simple beginnings.
I don't think it has at all. At the level of the origin of life, reading the literature, even the recent literature, the word miracle comes up probably far too often for your liking anyway, that they're just going from, say, the self-organizational properties of low-level molecules that you got in some kind of primeval situation to the phenomenal self-organizational potentialities of macromolecules. There's just no way you can get there.
Well, you're asserting that there's no way. We don't yet know what it is because there's a lot of work yet to be done. Science doesn't yet know everything. There are still gaps.
Yeah, but I'm not ruling out the fact that there's a physical side to it and so on. But it seems to me that the fact that the basic description of this ancient language, and it's a very ancient language of DNA, points much more arguably to the existence of a logos, a divine logos who started it, than the notion that it's going to be exhaustively explained in purely naturalistic terms. Because I would still go back to the point I made earlier, although I don't want to harp on it. This extreme reductionism removes from me the very rationality which we use to have the discussion. So that I'm not simply terribly tempted to believe it's all been designed. I believe it's all been designed, but that doesn't, and here's something else that I'd like to bring up in this, that doesn't stop science. I fear sometimes that your dichotomy, either God or science, might put some people off science because they'd prefer God, and that would...
Wow. Wow, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. Guys, in the last days, especially in the last days, yeah, people are going to get super clever. But they're going to get so clever that they're foolish. It's like that thing, where is it? Where what is it? Let me know in the comment section down below if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Is it the king is naked and he's not seeing it, or something along those lines? I believe you get what I'm trying to say. Anyways, people are getting way too smart for their own good, that they're overcomplicating things. It's harder for me to believe that nothing came out of nothingness than for me to simply believe, oh, there was a creator. So let's put things in context. It's harder for me to believe that my MacBook Pro appeared out of nowhere than it is for me to believe that, oh, well, if a chair has a creator, if a phone has a creator, if speakers, cameras have creators, then my MacBook Pro must have a creator. It's difficult for me to believe that the room that you're watching me, or the TV that you're watching me on right now, in your nice room, living room, bedroom, wherever you are, it's harder for me to believe that it just came out of existence from nowhere, poof, evolution theory, than it is for me to believe that, wait, the builder must have existed. Maybe he doesn't exist now. Maybe he's passed away, unfortunately. Maybe he's alive. Maybe he's not. Maybe he lives in Germany and you're from the USA. Maybe you're from the UK and he lives in Canada. But he must have existed some way, somehow. So now, by looking at bricks, all of these tangible things that I can touch, and I can see that they exist. How about looking at the universe? If I could see tangible, same thing. So if we can put two and two together, that things don't just magically appear, they were created somehow. The chair was an idea in someone's head one day, and they decided to bring it to fruition. If this is the case, and I can touch these things, okay, the sand, the metals, all of these different elements that exist, that we can see, the ones that we can see, the ones that we can't see, is it not Am I stretching? Am I reaching, as they say, into today's generation? Am I reaching too much or stretching by saying that, well, if all of these things have a creator, the flesh that I can also touch and the ground that I can touch, I think it's reasonable for me to think that there must be hey, wait a minute. There must be a creator. Wait. If this Apple Watch was created by, and I can touch it, this laptop, this mic, hello? My face, I can touch. Wait, so everything that I can see, that I can touch, somebody created. So why am I not allowed to apply that very same concept in my mind as well? Wait. I mean, somebody created me. I don't understand why that is so difficult for the world to understand. The only reason is people are getting too clever for their own good. It must be because the dichotomy and the scientific of the... Bro, stop with the language. You're not... Just because you're spewing out dictionary words that make you sound smart, you win by abandonment. Thank you. I was winning anyways. It doesn't mean, you know, you're just overcomplicating everything. And the craziest thing is your salvation and your life is on the line. That's what's worse about it. All right, guys. Smash the like button, links in the description if all you need. If you feel touched to bless this ministry to go forward, do so. You're not forced by any means. Smash the like button, and in the comment section, let me know, what do you think? Who won this? It's as clear as day. But hey, the comment section can be weird sometimes. Ronnie, because of... All right, so let me know who won, and I'll catch you guys in the next. Oh yeah, if you enjoyed this video, trust me, you're going to love this video that's coming up right now. So go ahead and check it out. God bless you all.